What's good, Guardians? It's BBK Dragoon here with a review of the Smite of Moraine, the legendary pulse rifle that has a chance to drop in the King's Fall raid. It operates in the same rate of fire and impact class as Red Death, Hopscotch Pilgrim, Apple of Discord, yet it has its own unique perk set that sets it apart from those weapons. Unfortunately, the natural stability of 66 cannot be boosted, so you can imagine this pulse rifle kicks and bounces when you're firing down longer sight lines. And when we look at the sight comparison here, you can see linear compensator is a no-brainer. You'll want to be running with this scout, no doubt, to help combat that low stability. Will of Light and Cocoon are two perks that come standard on the Smite. Should be no surprise if you've seen our other King's Fall raid weapon reviews. Will of Light allows you to deal bonus damage to taken enemies, and can be extremely useful since the Taken King places a heavy emphasis on taken encounters. Additionally, Cocoon as a perk reloads the weapon automatically when it is stowed for 5 seconds. The usefulness of this perk is debatable depending on your playstyle. It's always nice to have a weapon automatically reload, but it really depends on which special weapon you use and how long you keep it out. The next perk tree offers hand-loaded, lightweight, or reinforced barrel. The choice here is going to be dictated by your playstyle and your tastes. I gravitated towards hand-loaded. The fourth perk is interesting. You can get Danger Close, or Firefly, Life Support, or Glass Half Full. It's a random chance which one of those four you will receive. As noted earlier, Smite of Moraine is the only new pulse rifle introduced in the Taken King that can roll Firefly. The Smite that you're seeing in this review is using Firefly, and I must say it's pretty fun getting to use that perk on a pulse rifle. In PvE, the Smite of Moraine is a very effective choice, but do understand it's a result of us fighting a lot of taken enemies right now. Getting that little extra damage from the Will of Light perk is helpful. This Smite of Moraine, I was pleased with the roll. It's 310 attack and has Firefly, and it's a blast to use it in PvE encounters. You cannot ignore a couple of weaknesses though. It doesn't have an elemental damage type, it's got a slow reload, and the base stability stat of 66 makes this weapon kick and bounce around even with linear compensator. It should also be noted that when you try and sprint cancel out of the reload animation, you have to wait much longer than other pulse rifles in order for the gun to still reload and for you to cancel the last bit of the animation. It's not that noticeable in PvE, but I find myself messing it up a lot in PvP. Speaking of the Crucible, you'll be dealing 22 body damage and 33 precision damage to enemy guardians. The gun feels a bit like Red Death, as it should. It occupies the same rate of fire and impact class, making it pretty easy to 3-burst opponents, but compared to other top-tier pulse rifles, maintaining full precision headshots during an engagement is way harder. It's just very challenging with this gun to do full precision headshots, and I found that was a very rare occurrence, even if the opponent wasn't strafing or moving about. The Will of Light perk is obviously completely useless in PvP, but Cocoon is an interesting one. In total honesty, the Crucible can be so unpredictable that achieving the benefit of the Cocoon perk was irregular, inconsistent, and I just didn't find it to be a very powerful PvP perk. Keeping it in your backpack for 5 seconds at a time might work very well depending on the Guardian's playstyle. If you're a sniper, I could see this being a big benefit, or let's say you have a secondary weapon with Cocoon, that could be really cool, but I just didn't find this to be a top tier PvP perk. Additionally, if you like using this kind of pulse rifle in PvP, I would still recommend that you use Red Death, because the Red Death perk is pretty awesome. You can also maintain precision headshots a lot easier with a weapon like the Red Death. You know, let's just look at some top tier pulse rifles, the Messenger, All Fade, Red Death. Those weapons, if you are landing precision headshots, will kill faster than the Smite of Moraine. Additionally, if you're running some of the top tier hand cannons and you're landing your precision headshots, you will kill faster than the Smite of Moraine. But if you have an exotic special or heavy weapon that you want to use, the Smite of Moraine becomes a really good option then. Since it's a legendary, you don't have to worry about taking up that exotic slot. So in conclusion, the Smite in PvE is a blast, it's effective. Taken enemies tend to clump up, especially those Scions, so you've got Will of Light dealing bonus damage, and if you have Firefly, all those taken enemies nice clumped up, it's a DPS recipe for a lot of fun. Can't ignore a couple of things though. With the weapon, no elemental damage modifier is a detracting force, especially when taken encounters become less common. PvP, above average, not the top tier in regards to pulse rifles. The perk set is just simply not optimized for PvP. Can be a very fun gun. Maintaining precision headshots is going to be way more difficult than a weapon like Red Death. But hey, it's a legendary, so it doesn't have to take up that exotic slot. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm BBK Dragoon, and we'll see you next time, Guardians.